Hey everybody, Motorport59 here. I'm talking a little bit about commercials, TV ads, advertising in general, but specifically and more so television advertising. I'm 63, I was born in 1959, and I grew up in the era of clever and cute television commercials. I remember as a little kid, the plop plop fizz fizz, oh what a relief it is, Alka-Seltzer, and who wears short shorts, and they were commercials that got your attention through cute songs, cool songs, whatever. Some of the commercials that stand out to me, one of them was a Coca-Cola commercial with a little boy playing with puppies, and he was just laughing his head off, and these puppies were licking him and biting him, and it was just a real cool commercial. And I don't like Coke, but I would have went and bought one based on that commercial had I not already been at that time RC guy. But that was a really cool commercial. And the original Budweiser Clydesdale commercials, and with the Budweiser song, I'm not going to sing it, but you know which one I'm talking about, the King of Beers. And then they had a Christmas one with the sleigh bells that kept the beat in the song and stuff like that. Visually effective commercials. Some of the Super Bowl commercials up into the 80s and the 90s. I remember the one, I don't even remember I think it was a car commercial, maybe Toyota or something, but it had a bunch of birds that were trying to crap on a car, and they were going in like fighter jets or bombers or whatever to try to get to this car. And very effective commercials, visually effective, auditorily effective. They were really cool commercials, and especially back in my childhood in the 60s and into the mid 70s, they were very simple. They were very simple, and some of them were just so simple that made you want to check out their product. They were pushing their product using music, visual, and not visual effects. These were people doing real things. Another one I remember is Anacin, which is, I don't even know if they're in business anymore. They made aspirin, and they had a lady standing with her back to a glass with a clock face dial on it. And she'd do this, and she could only move her arm up that far. And then after Anacin, and she could move it up straight above her head. I remember commercials like that. And those are commercials that told you what their product did. Or they were commercials that told you, if you use our product, you're going to be happy. Even if you weren't going to be happy, it made you feel like you were going to be happy. If you use this, you're going to be bigger, you're going to be prettier, you're going to be faster, you're going to do something, you're going to buy this car, and your neighbors are going to be jealous of you. I remember which car commercial was it, but what a step up, holy cow, they'd never believe it if my friends could see me now. And they were commercials that made you feel like, God, I gotta go get one of these things. Today it's not like that. Advertising, no longer. I haven't seen a commercial that actually pushed its product in a long time. Now, I don't watch commercials very much because I don't watch TV very much. I watch almost everything that I watch on YouTube or a streaming service that I pay a premium for, so I don't have to watch commercials. What companies are pushing now is inclusiveness, equity. I watch it and I just think, you got to be kidding me. I remember the first times when they started integrating commercials, which I didn't have a problem with. I didn't care, but they weren't realistic. They'd have a commercial with say people watching a football game, and there would be a man, a woman, and a Native American, an Asian, an Hispanic, and a black person all sitting on a couch jumping up and down or whatever, and popcorn, and they were usually beer commercials if I remember right. And I used to think, instead of, think about it. It doesn't matter if you're black or white or whatever. When you go to a gathering, are there a bunch of people from other cultures and other races or other ideologies at your party? Probably not. It was never that way with me. And that was okay, whatever. I'm not a racist, but whatever. It was I grew up in a small white town, what can you say? But I remember thinking, why don't they just have a commercial that's just got a bunch of black people enjoying themselves, enjoying each other's company? That's more realistic, in my opinion. But that was the beginning of the advertisers, these corporations selling inclusiveness. And again, I didn't have a problem with it. It didn't make any difference to me. I just never saw it as portraying the world as it truly existed. And you're not going to change the world with beer commercials. You're just not. Now, they did have the Schlitz malt liquor bull commercials were almost exclusively black people. And why? Because black people drank Schlitz malt liquor. That was a real popular thing in black culture. I don't even know if they make Schlitz malt liquor anymore. I don't drink, so I don't know. But I never watched one of those commercials and thought anything other that they'd have the bull going through the china shop, and I never thought anything other than it was funny. I didn't think, oh, look, that's a stereotypical. I don't know, maybe it was, but it was an accurate portrayal of the way things were. And every once in a while today, I will see a commercial, and all I see is inclusiveness and equity being pushed. They're not pushing their products anymore. They're no longer saying, buy this and you'll be cool. Buy this and you'll be happy. They're saying, buy this or we will protest you for not buying it because you're a racist, you're a sexist, you're a bigot, you're a homophobe. They're not pushing togetherness. They're pushing people apart. That's what they're doing. They're creating divisions that don't need to be created. Hey, everything's okay. Let's just go on about our lives. You have a very small minority over here of whatever it is, and I've done things about the groups and victims before, but you have this little group over here that are forcing these corporations to make commercials like this. They're forcing this inclusiveness, equity, and all this other crap on companies that probably at their base and at their top levels probably don't believe it. But they know if they don't make these kind of commercials, they are going to come under fire. And instead of standing up to it and just making commercials that make people feel good and make most of the people who are going to buy their products feel like they're going to be happy or bigger or stronger or prettier or whatever, they're pushing inclusivity. And I watch these commercials sometimes and it's like, what are they even pushing? What are they trying to sell here? And once they get through with all the different people supposedly coming together or whatever, then at the very end it has the product name. And I'm reminded of I think it was a Seinfeld episode where he was dating a model and she was standing in a shower. Never showed the photograph, but she was standing in a shower partially clothed, and he's all, what's this ad about? And she said, oh, see that little thing way down in the corner? It's that. But that's how they used to sell things. Miller Beer is apologizing for their commercials where they used to use girls in swimsuits. And I watch a YouTube channel called Lauren De Laguna. She is an attorney. She's a conservative. And when they did that, she did a little piece. And she's so right. She said, I can't understand why they're apologizing. Who drinks beer? Men. What do men like? Women in bikinis. There you go. It really is that simple. But you can't do that anymore. You can't advertise to your larger audience. You have to advertise to this little piece of people over here who probably don't use your product at all anyway. and I know some women who drink beer, but those women aren't going to be offended by the Miller commercials. They're not going to be offended. The women I know who drink beer aren't really offended by much of anything. They just want to enjoy their beer and their lives, and they don't want to have anything forced on them. But as I said, it's getting to the point where it doesn't matter what the product is, it has to have an inclusive message behind it. And I don't know if it helps. I'm not an advertising executive. That's not my thing. I'm not a business person, and I'm not going to go do a deep dive into how these things work. But the one thing I can say is that I read a piece yesterday about the whole Bud Light thing and the Dylan Mulvaney deal, and Bud Light sales are down 24% since that all started. And that's a lot. That is a big chunk. Anheuser-Busch is going to survive this. It's a gigantic company. They have a lot of money to lose, but that's what they're going to do. They suspended the executive who was in charge of that advertising campaign, from what I understand. Again, I didn't follow it all that closely because I don't care. But then they did hey, look here, we have a Harley Davidson can. And I had to laugh. As I said, I don't drink, so it doesn't make any difference to me. Advertise whatever you want. It's not going to, I don't care. But I think that people are finally, even liberals are finally, they finally just had enough. They're starting to say, come on, man, let's knock this off. Let's stop pretending that this is worth caving to. And, hey, if there is some kind of a product that a specific minority group, whatever that group that consider themselves victims, if there's something that group use, a product or whatever it is that they use, and they want to advertise it specifically with them, I don't have a problem with that, whatever. I don't care. I just don't care. But whenever you try to pretend that the larger part of your customer base cares about these little things off to the right or off to the left, you've lost touch with reality. These places have lost touch with reality. These corporations have lost touch with reality. These advertisers have lost touch with reality. The advertising companies, they probably don't care. Company says, hey, make us a commercial that includes these people. These people make billions of dollars off this stuff. They don't care what kind of advertising they're coming up with. Doesn't matter to them. Just like it doesn't matter to me, but it's not realistic. I don't know. What do you think? You still drinking Bud Light? You drinking Miller? Well, anyway, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Shoot me an email at motorpoet59@gmail.com. Like, share, subscribe, click on the bell if you want to be notified of future content. See you all later.